Hey there, kids. It's time for Chapter 6 of the Oddmire, Book 1, The Changeling. And here's a picture of the Chapter 6. Let's start. A pair of hazel eyes watched the boys climb down from the knotted tree and dash away up the trail. One of the twins was still scrutinizing the paper, while the other glanced back at the tree line every few steps. The eyes kept watching as the little hunched goblin scampered back into the woods, taking practice steps on mossy ground to muffle his footfalls. For years those eyes had watched that goblin, watched those boys, but something felt different today. Something had shifted. It was in the air. A beam of sunlight found its way down past the canopy of leaves, and the hazel eyes flashed gold for just a moment. Beneath them, a smile grew. Something was beginning. "It's not real," Cole said as they rounded the last bend in the path. "It's probably just Edgar from school." "It feels a little bit real," Tin said. He turned the letter over for the 100th time, studying the sketchy little map on the back of the page. "If it was real, would you go?" "Through the wildwood?" said Cole. "Past the Oddmire? Beyond the deep dark?" He considered. "Maybe, if we were going together, I guess. I think we could do it." "Even if we made it all the way through the forest, though," Tin said, "what would happen when we got to the goblin horde? I don't want to be the only human in the middle of a bunch of goblins. The note even said not to bring any humans. Do goblins eat people? Would they eat one of us?" "I don't think goblins eat people," said Cole. "But if it is real and we don't go, it sounds like one of us is going to die anyway." The boys were quiet for a long time. "It's not real," Cole said, even less convincingly the first time. "It feels a little bit real," said Tin. When Annie Burton came to tuck her boys into bed, they were already lying under their covers, blankets pulled up to their chins, waiting quietly. Like any good mother, Annie was immediately suspicious. "Okay. What'd you do?" "Nothing," they answered together. "Then what are you planning to do?" They both hesitated. "Uh-huh," said Annie. "I don't know about you two, but if I was a boy whose birthday was just around the corner, I would be on my very best behavior in the hopes that my incredibly patient mother would see fit to give me the birthday present she sent away for 3 weeks ago and has been hiding ever since they arrived." "They already came," said Cole. "Where are they?" "Nice try, kiddo," said Annie. "They're hidden somewhere you two would never think to look for them." "Are they in the hat box in the back of your closet?" said Tin. Annie pursed her lips. "By morning they will be hidden somewhere you two would never think to look for them. You best not ruin your birthday. I will send your presents back." "You always say you'll send them back, but you never do," Cole said with a cheeky grin. "Don't try me." "Hey, Mom," said Tin. "How do you know for sure we both have the same birthday?" Annie took a deep breath. She had resolved long ago not to lie to her children. Not outright. If anybody in the village had a right to know their story, it was the two of them. Not that there was anybody in the village who didn't know their story. "I guess I don't know for sure," she answered. "I was only there for the one of you." "Why, you hoping for double birthday cakes?" "No, well, now that you mention it, yes, but no." "What would you do," asked Cole, "if you found out which one of us it is?" "If I found out which one of you is a goblin?" Annie said. They both nodded, suddenly intent. Good question. Can't have a goblin running loose without a plan, can I? What if the mischievous scamp were to get up to some goblin shenanigans like, I don't know, hiding my good whisk in the icebox and switching my salt and sugar bowls right before I made a batch of marmalade tarts? "Okay, well, that was an accident," said Tin. "Mostly." "Right. And what if the naughty troublemaker used my nice tablecloth to turn his climbing tree into a pirate ship?" "That was Tin's idea," said Cole. "Was not." Okay, it was my idea, but Tin helped. I did not. Okay, but he didn't tell me not to, so it's really just as much his fault as mine, said Cole. Also, it made a really good sail, and actually, I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I mean, I'm very sorry it won't happen again. Uh-huh, said Annie Burton. What would you do if I knew for sure which one of you is a goblin? She kissed Tin on the top of his head, then crossed the carpet and kissed Cole. I would find out what day my little goblin boy was born and bake a special cake just for him. And then I would hide his presents better because apparently an old hat box in the back of my closet is the very first place you ruffians would look. Well, that's where you hid them last year, said Cole. You're incorrigible, said Annie. What's incorrigible? Said Tin. It means go to sleep, said Annie. As long as you look like my boys and talk like my boys and, God help me, get yourselves into all sorts of trouble like my boys, then you're stuck with me for a mom. And as your mom, I say, it's time to turn out the lights and go to bed. Good night, said Tin. I love you. I love you too, said Cole. Night. Sweet dreams, my little goblin boys, said Annie Burton. Get plenty of rest now. You're helping me with the garden tomorrow. As she clicked the door shut, she heard Tin's voice whisper across the silent bedroom. Not knowing is the worst part. Do you think not knowing is why Dad left? Said Cole. Annie winced, and she hesitated, then leaned her ear closer to the bedroom door. Nah, Mom says he never would have left us if he didn't have to. But he did leave, said Cole. He left because of us. Well, you don't know that. Maybe he was always going to come back. Maybe he went looking for answers, like old Jim says. Old Jim doesn't know anything about it. If Dad was planning to come back, would he have left without telling Mom where he was going? Tin shrugged. Would you want to tell Mom if you were about to do something stupid and dangerous? Cole considered this. I would leave a note at least. Annie Burton smiled to herself and tiptoed away from their door with a bittersweet sigh. They were good boys underneath. Hey, Tin, Cole whispered later. Are you awake? Yeah, said Tin. Me too, said Cole. Are you thinking about the letter? Of course I am, said Tin. Me too. They lay in silence for a while as the leaves rustled in the wind outside their window. The letter was tucked inside the top drawer on the nightstand between them. It was only a thin scrap, but in the dark it seemed to take up the entire room. If not knowing had been a pebble, then the possibility of knowing was a boulder. What if it's me? Cole said at last. Tin staring at the ceiling. The letter promised answers to a question both of them had pressing in the inside of their skulls for as long as either of them could remember. I don't want it to be you, whispered Tin. Cole sat up and leaned his back against the wall. What if it's you? Tin lay motionless. He didn't even blink for several seconds. I don't want it to be me, he breathed. Both boys were quiet for a long time. Crickets chirped rhythmically outside, and a gust of wind rustled the leaves of a big sycamore. Hey, Tin, Cole whispered again. If it's me, if you're the real boy and I'm not... He swallowed. Will you still be my brother? Tin's throat tightened. Always. Cole nodded into the dark. Hey, Cole, Tin began. Always, said Cole. Tin took a deep breath. We're going to do it, aren't we? He said. Well, if it is you, I'm not sitting around to watch you die because we didn't go, said Cole. I'd rather get eaten in the forest, he swallowed. You know, together. Tin nodded. Me too, he said. Okay then, said Cole. Answers. Wildwood. Sunrise. Tin nodded. The wind whistled against the window pane. So are you going to tell Mom? Cole bit his lip. Are you? In the morning, Annie Burton found a note.